What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and discuss all the positives regarding the Modern Warfare 3 beta. Of course, you guys helped me out in the comment section of my stream. I really appreciate you guys. We pretty much formulated all of our ideas together to kind of come to a conclusion on every last positive detail when it comes to this game. So again, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, we will be streaming again today. If you guys want to be a part of that, hang out with the community. We have open lobbies, and we just got great vibes over there. I have a link to my Kick channel down in the description of this video. Usually it goes live around 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. But today, like I said, we're going to discuss all the positives when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. Now, first and foremost, I want to touch upon the skill-based matchmaking. This has to be probably by far the best matchmaking I've ever witnessed in a trillion years. Seriously, the amount of competition and the amount of sweat that happens on a game-to-game basis is outstanding. I just love it. I'm playing. I'm playing. I had to throw that in there a little bit. Oh, man, I just wanted to see how many people I could actually piss off who are probably going to go to the comments section, not finish the rest of the video, and just specifically rage react to that. All right, let's really get into it. Okay, first and foremost, when it comes to Modern Warfare 3, I would like to begin with the fact that this game isn't developed by Infinity Ward. I know, it might be a strange one, and it doesn't really revolve too much around the gameplay. We will get into some more specific topics, but I think that is a massive positive right now. You know, Infinity Ward used to be my favorite development team, but after all the egotistical moves they made on their previous games, it's just, it always feels refreshing going to a different team. Even with Vanguard, it felt nice to be, listened to a little bit. Black Ops Cold War felt good to be listened to a little bit. But the amount of communication that we've gotten so far with this game already has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I got to say, that's probably one of the biggest positives. The fact that it's not Infinity Ward working on this game, and the fact that Sledgehammer Games have been communicating with us nonstop. Now, we will see how their communication lasts throughout the rest of the game, because typically developers fall off a bit. But, we will respectfully give them their holiday break. But afterwards, I want to see them come back and really be responsive when it comes to 6v6. I understand Warzone's going to be a big priority. But if they really want this, this pro that I'm listing here to stay the same and to, have people still respect Sledgehammer Games, afterwards, you have to support 6v6. You have to listen to community feedback. And you got to make sure that you, drill on that specific game mode to make sure it thrives for the remainder of the year. After that, I do have another pretty obvious one, but it's the movement. I think everybody knew I was going to mention this, but the movement in Modern Warfare 3 is next level. I mentioned this in a couple of videos ago, but seriously, this is probably the best middle ground movement I've seen in Call of Duty ever. This is probably the best movement COD, And that's coming from someone who doesn't really care for the insane, cracked out movement that much, I was actually a fan when they took away slide canceling in Modern Warfare 2. I'm not going to, lie about it. I could care less. I'm an OG COD guy. I like my B-hop and I like my drop shot. I could care less if slide canceling is in the game or out of the game. But I really do believe that Sledgehammer Games, when it came to Modern Warfare 3, found the perfect middle ground. They found a middle ground that there can be a good, legitimate skill gap in the game when it comes to movement, but at the same time, it's not completely overwhelming for a casual player to get into the experience. Will the casual player have to work a little extra hard? Will they have to learn some things? Yeah, they will, but that's the whole purpose of gaming. You got to learn some stuff eventually to make sure the game is fun. But is it overwhelming? Is it like Modern Warfare 2019 where you are required to slide cancel in order to have the benefit of the doubt? No, not at all. So I really do think this is the perfect middle ground, and I'm curious to see how they handle movement in the future. But of course, like I said, that is a massive, massive positive when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. After that, I have the actual perks themselves. Once again, obvious one, but Dead Silence being back and Ghost working normally, and just having perks work how they should and not have that stupid system in Modern Warfare 2 where they load perks over time throughout the match. Again, I was all for it. I want to state this because I feel like a lot of people felt the same way. We were all for trying it. We like trying new things because obviously if you don't try new things, the game will get stale. You can't do the same thing over and over and over and over. I don't know what people expect out of that. I see so many people want the same exact thing every year. COD would die. I'm just being honest. It would simply die if that was the case. It would not last for 20 plus years. They need to innovate. They need to keep things fresh. So I'm down to try it. But when the community says it's bad and it's not worth it, you have to suck up the ego and accept it. And they never did. We tried it. We gave it our best shot. We gave both betas a try. We really digested it and gave it its best go. And it was still garbage at the end and they refused to change it. Here, we don't have that anymore. You get your perks right out the gate. They use it as like actual clothes that you wear now, helmets, gloves, all that stuff. Obviously, the perk system isn't anything insanely crazy, but at the end of the day, they wound it back enough to make it traditional, and at the same time, they branched out enough to make it newish, but nothing that's going to be so innovative that it's completely new, completely not COD, and we have to adapt. No, it's something that's going to feel original, something that you will feel familiar with, but something that will still feel fresh at the same time. So yeah, I enjoy the perks when it comes to Modern Warfare 3 as well. Next up, I have the gunplay. I gotta be real, the gunplay in this game is extraordinarily solid, extremely good. Now, this is minus the fact of the horrible servers and the iffy hit detection for the time to kill and stuff like that. That's all questionable stuff, and that's all stuff we will further critique when the game launches, even though I did critique it in my negative video the other day. If you guys haven't seen that, you can check it out. I just posted it yesterday. But I already listed that the time to kills, I think it's because of the connection, but at the end of the day, it felt a little off. But when the gunfights work, when everything is aligned, when the connection is outstanding, it just feels so crispy. Mixed along with the movement, it is like the ultimate combo, the ultimate duo. Like I said, it really feels like they tried to amp it up to like Black Ops 4 pacing, but at the same time, they wanted to keep that Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2 vibes as well. It really is just a mix of everything that people wanted out of these games. It's what we wanted out of Modern Warfare 2. It sucks that we have to pay $70 for this game. It's no reason for this patch to be overpriced, but it is what it is. It's literally Modern Warfare 2 with all the changes that we wanted. And if we're going to be real, that's what people wanted. People like Infinity Ward's design. People like their animations, their sound engine, the looks of their games. It's just their gameplay, decisions are god-awful, and they refuse to acknowledge that, which ruins the overall experience. Now that we have a game that pretty much gives us almost the atmosphere of an Infinity Ward game, but with good gameplay mechanics, it just feels really good to shoot a gun, engage in gunfights, and just have fun in a game that revolves around shooting, right? We're playing a first-person shooter. If the gunfights don't feel good, it's absolutely pointless. The next point that I have is also another pretty obvious one, and that is the map selection that we have here. I mean, let's be real. They're all the OG Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps. It's hard to go wrong with them. And the funniest part is that I still see people complaining about these maps like No Tomorrow, saying they're slow, very campy, bro. They're the same exact way they played day one. Modern Warfare 2 2009, back in the OG days. I mean, these maps played just as slow. I know for a fact when this game drops, there's going to be a handful of maps. I would say Skid Row, High Rise, Rust, Scrapyard. Maybe another. I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but those are going to be the main maps people enjoy, that people will rave for, beg for 24/7 servers, and the rest of them are going to get absolutely dunked on by the community. And I know it's going to happen, and everybody complains about maps year in, year out. Like I said, I don't really take the community's opinions on maps that seriously anymore. I just, after this year, seeing all the complaints, it's like, yeah, okay, at this point, yeah. I don't think there's any maps in the world that would really genuinely make us very happy. But for me personally, I know these maps like the back of my hand. I am a tad bit worried about them being a bit, boring, dull after some time because I played them so much back in the day. But it is refreshing knowing where I'm going, what's happening, how to play certain game modes. And I feel like I'm just jumping right back into the experience and playing it all over again. And a lot of these maps haven't been remastered, so I'll be honest, to see the whole list is going to be pretty darn awesome. Next up, I have the equipment in this game. Basically, stuff like lethals, tacticals, field upgrades, perks. Basically everything in the game, to me, looks like it's pointed more towards the aggro community, and I really, really like that. Things like the AMS device getting added into the game to help people play on OBJ, and, certain perks returning, and, so on and so forth. Everything seems to be pointed towards the aggro crowd, which I really do enjoy. It's great because after a couple of Infinity Ward games, they really did cater their games towards more slow-paced tactical players. It's nice to have a game that's, returning really hardcore to those arcadey roots, and all of the equipment is really going to help you dive deeper into those roots. Now, we don't know what the rest of the equipment and perks and all that stuff is going to look like at the launch of this game. That's what I'm really curious about because I feel like some more cheese will release eventually down the road. But from what we played in the beta, first initial impressions of this stuff, yeah, a lot of the stuff was pointed towards, move, go to the objective, play the game, So overall, I think I really do enjoy that stuff. And the next point, which kind of revolves into the point that I just mentioned, is the red dots on the minimap. Once again, another feature that has been introduced into the game that the whole community has been begging for. And yeah, I don't think this feature should be removed, honestly. And I don't understand why we have to fight for it. Treyarch does it naturally, and the fact that we have to celebrate it now to see it return is just absolutely insane. Treyarch just puts it in their game, and here we are begging an Infinity Ward to just give us the red dots because it makes the flow a little bit better. And they won't do it for some odd reason. Now suppressors actually feel good. You don't just put on a suppressor to give you extra damage range for some awkward reason. You put on a suppressor to be, off the minimap, back to OG vibes. You rock. It's just, at the end of the day, it's 10 trillion times better, and the game is pointed towards the aggro community. I guess another thing I can also cycle into that list, because I should have just really grouped all these things into one category, because they really are all similar towards the game being pointed towards the aggressive community, but also the lower visual recoil, the clutter. It's fantastic when you shoot your gun and you aim at a target, you actually have real gunfights. It's not, about how much your reticle is going to be shaking and how much dust is going to kick up in your face. No, you literally point at the target and it's just perfect. It's clear. You can track. And I enjoy that, once again, out of an arcade shooter. That's what we want. That's what we crave. And realistically, I don't really want to see any of the gunplay come back, because it just makes the gunplay so tedious, having to deal with all the additional stuff in a more, a shooter that isn't very casual and laid back. If this was like a milsim or something, or a solo game, I could see where you're coming from. But in a game where you're competing against others, that's the last thing you want, is a bunch of visual clutter while you're engaging with people. It just kills the whole purpose of the game. So I'm very happy with what they did with that. And also, sound effects. Oh my goodness. I love the sound effects, the gun sounds in this game. It's a lot more, once again, arcadey. I think that's the direction that, honestly, Sledgehammer's taking, and I don't mind. Like, I don't even mind if they add in advanced warfare weapons into this game, which is literally already rumored for Season 3 to be coming in. I don't mind, because literally the whole direction of this game just seems to be that they're going to continue the storyline of Modern Warfare 2, but when it comes to multiplayer, it's whatever. They're just trying to make an arcade shooter. That's it, a fun arcade shooter, and I'm all down for it. And that's what the gun sounds remind me of. That's what the sound effects remind me of. It feels, instead of more realistic, it feels more, like I said, like an arcade machine, which I'm totally down for. Also, the party system in this game was surprisingly good. Usually, when I try to party up with friends, it's a nightmare. But for the first time in a beta, I was able to consistently do it without having to worry about problems. I really hope this carries over to the official build. I really do, because that is some of the most tedious stuff, is when you're literally trying to get a party together longer than searching for a game. It's insane sometimes, but that's how it goes in Call of Duty. So I'm hoping that this stays. And I could probably come up with some more positives. It's a lot of stuff to say about this game. But the last positive is actually something I mentioned in the negatives, but I really do think it's a positive at the end of the day. It's just something that needs to be tweaked, and maybe it's server problems. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it is a good thing that the time to kill was increased a little bit for this game. Even if they tone it back a bit more, at the end of the day, the fact that it's longer just really adds for more aggressive gameplay. You can move, you can rotate, and this adds to all the other things, having red dots on the main map, how all the perks and, equipment are catered towards the aggressive, crowd. This falls right in line with the rest of that stuff as well. Simply having a longer time to kill allows you to pick engagements and be more strategic about your engagements. It's more of a thought process. And honestly, for a lot of the people who like Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 because they're more tactical and, you think it requires more thought process, honestly, this should be fantastic for you then, because this does require a lot of thought process. The amount of ways that you can get in and out of engagements is endless. You can come up with endless possibilities. It's fantastic, and it's all because you don't die in 2 bullets. And again, I don't mind 100 HP, because we always grew up with that when it came to Call of Duty. Every Call of Duty game in the past was basically 100 HP. Maybe tweaked a little bit here and there depending on the Call of Duty game. Mostly Treyarch had a bit longer time to kill, in my opinion, I think. Maybe the stats would prove me wrong, but that's how it always felt. But at the end of the day, it was always 100 HP. So I don't mind that. Trust me, I like fast time to kill, because you can really move. If you get a good chain going on, you can get like 6, 7, 8 kills, maybe reloading once after like 5 bodies. You could probably kill a whole team with 1 mag. It's insane. It's awesome. It's awesome sometimes. But having the longer time to kill just adds for more, like I said, just more fun engagements, because it just allows one-on-one gunfights to be more intense, instead of just saying, oh, I caught you off guard, I'm going to mow you all down. Oh, you caught me off guard, I can't react, I'm done for, So I really enjoy that as well. But guys, that's really all I have for the positives of this game. I enjoyed the experience, and I'll say that this was probably, A, one of the best betas that we've played in a long time, best running betas, and B, probably one of the best playing games as well, gameplay wise. Like, this is probably one of my favorites out of the past 5. Not saying it's, a contender to beat the rest of the games like the OG COS, but it's a good game. It just has a few problems, obviously. Skill-based matchmaking weighing back on it a ton, making it basically unplayable for a lot of casual players, which, of course, I've mentioned in my other videos, but today's a positive video, so I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it the whole time. And also the fact that it's $70 DLC. It's basically a patch for Modern Warfare 2, which is really hard to get over, but if you can get this game on sale, it might be pretty much worth it. But other than that, when it comes down to gameplay itself, it's a pretty fun game, and it's made for skill players as well. If you want a skill gap, this game is going to be for you, and I think it's going to cater to that crowd pretty nicely. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, and by all means, if you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget, subscribe and hit that bell. We have been grinding up the subscriber ranks pretty quickly, actually, thanks to all the support of you guys. We're almost at, 44? I think we hit 44 not too long ago. Literally got to 44,100 like a couple of days after, so I guess we're grinding up to 44,200. If you guys don't mind, hit the sub button, hit the bell. You'll be notified on the daily uploads we put up here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And, of course, last but not least, don't forget we do stream pretty much daily over on Kick around 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time as well. If you guys want to check that out, the link to that is down in the description of this video, along with all my other socials like Twitter and Discord. But thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.